That's why we are going to take the third lowest model, which is having the mean squared error and mean absolute error that is very much lesser. The average value what we are going to calculate that is very much lesser. That is the third lowest error model. So those hyperparameters and that particular model we are going to select it here, and we are going to save that particular model in that by using joblib library. Joblib library is also there, so in order to dump that particular model, so whichever model is having a third least mean squared error and mean absolute error average, if you are going to take, then the third least value we are going to select it from ascending order. If you are going to sort the average value, means in the third lowest value, in third highest value, third value, top third value. So that particular value for that particular model, whatever the hyperparameters are there, all those things will be considered. So we are going to dump that particular model, so in that by using the joblib library we can say. That's it. And deployment metadata, so for that metadata is also there. What is the model type? So metadata means it will give information about that particular model. So whatever model is there, so for that information it will provide. What is the model type here? Timestamp, git commit, suntrain. uh, Means timestamp means at which particular time this particular model was trained. So training data path. So and also selected rank means third highest model we have selected it. So features count means in trained data set how many number of samples features should be there. Training samples, we can take how many number of records are there. So and all these things will be considered as a metadata. In that hyperparameters are also there, mean absolute error, all these things are there here, we can say. This is the root metadata also, we can use it. Root metadata means compared to metadata, the information is very much lesser. For some of the some systems, root metadata is very much useful here. And requirements, whatever the requirements are there in order to run this particular, in order to do this particular task, whatever the requirements are there, scikit-learn is there, which version, joblib library is there, which version, the versions, and also numpy, pandas, frameworks are there. So what are the different types of versions, and all these things will be there in the requirements.txt file. And after storing that particular data, actually what is happened is, actually model is deployed again. I have rerun it, so that's why I'm going to get some error here, because again it was rerun. So that's why if the model was once deployed means we should not have to rerun that particular code. If it was rerun means then it may occur some problem. In the same way, we are going to train the GBDT, what I have done in the random forest. The same way I should have to do it here also. The same procedure will be there. Here also I have rerun it. For the XGBoost also, the same way we should have to do it. Whatever pattern I have told. Because of rerunning it, I got this error. Okay. Now, so for the model deployment, because all the three models, we have whatever the models are there, we have saved that particular models in the files, of joblib library in the binary file. So in a particular directory, in a particular file, this particular model was saved. So in that case, what is going to happen? Whatever the model, we should have to select out of three models, we should have to select only one model which is having lesser mean squared error or means absolute error, whichever the average of the two values we are going to select, mean squared error and mean absolute error. The average value we are going to select for which particular model, so is having the average values very much lesser, that particular model we are going to select it. So for that, if in order to deploy a particular model, it should have some criteria will be there. Means whatever the files should be there, so the file should be in a proper path. What type of file should be there? Firstly, for deployment, joblib files means, so job, because of joblib library, whatever the model is there, that model will be stored in a this particular file, binary file. Metadata in JSON format it will be there. So whatever the model requirements are there, the information about the model, so and all these things will be there in the metadata. Requirements file means dependencies will be there, and test cases, input sample, output samples, means input data sample will be there, output data sample will be there, and all these things will be there in the model directory. So we can say, so here like that, so it will check it out whether all these things are perfectly matched or not. So here once observe it, deployment readiness report means we are going to put some logic. If all the things are going smoothly, so then automatically all the models are the readiness report is very much positive, means all the models whatever are there are in perfect condition. Whatever the files that are there in the each and every directory, subdirectories of it are perfect in order to deploy the model. So all of them are in a perfect condition in order to they are we can select any of one of the model to deploy it. So that's it. Here we have used shuttle is for creating the directories, because of whichever model is having job library. For example, here deployment information we have selected, so we have selected whatever XGBoost is having least mean squared error or mean absolute error, means the average value is lesser for XGBoost compared to all the other models. So that's why we have selected XGBoost only here. In that case, what was happened is, in order to deploy the model, first we should have to select verify the model is existing or not. And after that, shuttle is there. Shuttle is for creating another directory. For deployment directory is created here. So in that deployment directory, what is going to happen? So we are going to whatever the deployment directory is there. So whatever, for example, model.directory is there. So here this is the directory. In the directory, subdirectories will be there. In that subdirectories, different types of models and their respective files will be there. So in that we are going to whichever model we want, the mean squared error, mean absolute error, average value is lesser for which model. XGBoost is having that particular lesser value. So that model we are going to select it here. That model we are going to select it here, and we are going to deploy that particular model. So for that shuttle, it has created a deployment folder, and in the deployment folder, deployment directory, whatever the model is there, whatever the particular model and files are there in the XGBoost subdirectory, XGBoost model will be saved in the subdirectory of the main directory. So that particular files, whatever the files related to the XGBoost will be saved, will be cloned to this particular directory. That's a deployment directory, we can say. So that's it. And after that, actually what is going to happen, this is the deployment. For example, for this deployment point of view, it will be used here. And after that, you can observe it here. Whatever the files are there, those are not in a particular path here. So that's why the problem was happened. We have changed it here. Many changes I have done in the code. Finally, I got the answer here. So I have deployed the model here. Actually, what was happened here, at this particular instance, this is the instance, this is the deployment tab. What we can say deployment server. So how it is working in the Docker container, this deployment server will be there. So in the deployment server, at a particular endpoint will be also be there. Where this endpoint, this is the endpoint, not the endpoint. A particular endpoint will be there. At that particular endpoint only, so the deployment of model takes place here. So whenever at that particular endpoint, if you are going to ask a question, here, so HTTP request is sent. So then at that particular endpoint, the model will be Auto